Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another GeoGuessr video, another Open Major Qualifier video today. I don't know. We'll be doing these for the next 2 days, I think, for both Wednesday and Thursday. If you guys are looking for the grayscale half blind duels, it's in the rules that I can't ult until I guess after the race is over. So, I mean, that's pretty understandable, I would say. Although my ult is quite far out of the range of affecting anything within the race. I just thought it was best to follow the rules in that case. But yeah, we'll be doing some Open Major videos here. And yeah, let's hop into it here. And we're hopping into game one. And we've got a game against Pav here on round one. They're sitting at 1827. And we have white car with red backlights, 2023. We're driving on the left. We have some Australian bollards. Reminded me a lot of the stuff that I mapped kind of in Western Queensland, like very West Queensland, like near the South Australia border. So after taking a little look, I just hedged near Birdsville. Thought it was quite a good hedge. I mean, this is one of the few places that I've mapped in the entire world, and just ended up being south of Baduri there. Just clicking around on map making app, so we get a good guess down, and we get the right road as well as we move into round two. Low cam here, so we're in Japan. Yeah, you see me zooming in on the poles to try to see if I can find anything that could be helpful. But yeah, we just have some red roofs here, it looks like, and I will just be clicking Hiroshima with that. Hiroshima Okayama border. It ends up being a bit more west in western Shimane, but it's only going to be 112 points as we hop into a little bit of round three here. And we hop into a Thailand here, driving a left, white car, very red soil. And yeah, kind of swampy. Trees feel, yeah, a bit weird. But we end up going Kalasin here. Just looks like eastern Thailand to me, especially with the redder soil. Definitely hedge more east. And 3 seconds left here. And Pav actually ends up going Brazil, which is fair enough. I mean, makes sense with the red soil, as for where he guessed. We do pick up 8 rating for it, so we're up to 2012, and we get a player immediately. I don't know who this is. It's somebody's ult. FO is the name. But yeah, let's see. Round one. We start off in an interesting round. Thought Colombia, just because we do have a bunch of these green rolling hills, Gen 3. I couldn't really place this in Brazil as well. So I thought Colombia was the better choice. And I mean, Mexico is certainly a possibility as well, but couldn't really place this too much in Mexico. So I just ended up clicking west of Bogota. Probably not the best region guess, but I didn't know where, and it ends up being like more so east of the big hills in the Andes, which I guess makes sense. We could see some pretty big mountains to the west, just south of Yopal there. And we'll move in around two. Probably pretty recognizable coverage, just don't know it. All right, white car here, driving right. We have concrete roads. So I am thinking Philippines here. Houses are interesting. I mean, not at all atypical for Southeast Asia, at least, and Philippines especially, with these metal roofs. I ended up thinking like, oh, it could be Luzon, but I guess it would be a bit weird for this to be Gen 3. So maybe I should have thought about that a bit more, especially in like the flat places of Luzon that grow rice. And yeah, I probably should have hedged this a bit more. Ends up being Panay. They go for a better hedge there. And yeah, we end up losing 541 points there. As we jump into a little bit of round three. Black car here, coastal, like, I mean, like, this is a pretty slam dunk Sakhalin, but it's just a matter of finding the railroad, because there's parts where it's to our east, like on the water, like that. And then there's parts where it's to our west. I think I end up scanning, like, way too far north here. I didn't realize exactly how far north I've gone. I don't even know if there's cover. There might be. But yeah, actually ends up being a bit more south there. Kind of close to where I started, but yeah, it looks like it's crossing over. I didn't realize that. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't look at the location well enough, but it's fine. We get the red coast round 4. Pretty small road here, but very flat. Building struck me most French-looking, I'd say. With some of the tiled-looking roofs, plus just the color of them. I couldn't really place this in, like, places like Czechia, where we would surely see at least some rolling hills. At least in my opinion. And the thin road also makes sense for France. Couldn't really place it, though. So we just end up going a little bit west of Paris. It ends up being closer to label. Yeah, we lose 21 points of health there. All right, popping around 5 now. 1.5x damage. In driving right, looking at the back of the car there, pretty big exposed car. I don't know if this is like a Hungary meta, but definitely seen it like a bit more in Hungary. But yeah, we just have a road kind of, I don't know, different from a Polish tree row, but in the same way, like just trees growing on both sides of the road, surrounded by fields, very flat. So I thought Hungary fit the best, and it was Hungary, but a bit more western, northwest of Lake Balaton. Well, moving around 6, double damage. Notice an Idaho plate there, so pretty straightforward. I end up going grid line scanning here, I think. It does say Franklin County on that bin, which I don't think I noticed, but it's not like I really know where Franklin County is anyway. I thought Boise made the most sense with the angle because it looks pretty north-south. And I'm looking for like 100 South Road. I actually don't know what that ended up being. That's the only sign that I could read. So I was looking for cities with like 100 or like some kind of road like that. I mean, I see like there's North 3100 East and North 3000 East there. Yeah, I don't know. But I even look at Pocatello, but the angle's wrong. So just end up hedging Boise. Which is interesting because they actually go for Pocatello here. But, I mean, the angle doesn't really line up, right? Because Pocatello is mostly going northwest to southeast. So maybe they're just hedging, but I don't know. Bit of an odd guess from them. And I'm never, like, super convinced the alt is legit unless I know who the player is that is piloting the alt, I guess. All right, Brazil here. Red soil. I don't know. I just thought that guess was very peculiar. Okay, so this one... I have a little bit of a moment. I see the trident pull, and I think, oh, yeah, maybe Maranya fits because we had some palms there. I see a couple of angles that really line up. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have ruled out other stuff so quickly, but I thought Maranya fit quite well. Yeah, we're scanning a lot on this one. I don't know. My opponent hasn't sent yet either, so maybe striped car is a bit weird. But I just thought Maranya potentially fit. That angle actually looks good. I mean, the curve maybe is a bit wrong because it's more of a slight curve on the road that I'm on. So maybe I should have thought of that in the moment. I think I'm not really satisfied with that lineup, so we go scanning a bit more. That looks okay, but we have a railroad south, which maybe we would have saw. That obviously is a town there. I'm looking to see if there's a town. There's no town. Still scanning on this road. I mean, that doesn't really line up, does it? But I think we just end up clicking there anyway. I noticed the angle is slightly off. And yeah, I'm like, oh, is there an off-road here? I mean, like, it lines up, right? But I mean, there's clearly no off-road or any road to the south there, which we'd definitely see from our road. But who knows what constitutes a road, really? I thought this looked a little bit better. Just because the curve looks a bit better, and maybe to the east we just can't see those buildings because it's over the hill. So, I don't know. I just end up setting that. Not too happy with where I've sent. Maybe I'm mistaking these palms, like, maybe somebody can tell me. Yeah, it just ends up being here. I don't know. I guess the curve to the west wasn't as extreme as I thought, but I don't know. I think with the car, it's probably better to probably send... like southern stuff, but I don't know. Not like the biggest car expert in Brazil. All right. Well, we're still alive and still kicking on 3x damage. And I noticed we have a town with like all metal roofs. So I originally, like, I noticed we're going through the mountains, so I'm just looking at places that could potentially fit. I know North Erzurum has a lot of stuff with big mountains, but I mean, maybe it'd be a bit more, I don't know, lighter colored mountains. Yeah, it ends up being a bit more west, so 360 points. They're just hedging. It looks like, and we're moving around 9. 3.5. You can see the back of the car there. And I think Germany probably makes the most sense. Czech copyright is 2024. I don't know. We have an A-frame pole there, which, like, I rule out Netherlands because, like, I don't think we would really be seeing too many wooden poles in the Netherlands. I think the hunting tower is a bit weird as well. I end up going for this guess. Looking back at it, and I was thinking about this after the duel as well, like, I don't really love it because some of the houses do, yeah, you can see me circling, like, that area north of Dortmund, around Münster, like, near the Netherlands border, because the architecture kind of looks like that. Yeah, we just end up losing to a Netherlands guess, which, I mean, it's not the most criminal guess, I think, realistically, but, yeah, bit unfortunate to lose to a guess in the wrong country. I don't know, I don't know. But we do end up losing that game. All right, well, we get another ult here, 21-38. And we have Danish Bollard, so we can just send. It ends up being, you know, Samsu Hedge is undefeated in that case. 24 HP done. And we're moving around too. In Argentina on the RN8. And yeah, just find it there. I'm looking for parts in which it's not divided, I guess, because I think where I've zoomed in on here is divided, as you guys can see. So I end up going a bit more west, scanning. I think angle looks pretty good here. So I end up sending this. But as you guys can see, the does a little bit of trolling because it's on the white road north of the RN8. Yeah, sure. Round 3. In this round, so we get Argentina again. We have the black dot on the plate there. Trying to get something to read. We notice we have a gas station here. Nippon car, which means like Japanese car, I guess. And it says something there. I have no idea. Couldn't really read it. But then I see Region Patagonia, I think, on that gray sign there. You can see my mouse kind of hovering over it a little bit. So I'm like, interesting. We have big buildings like that. So I'm just thinking, I guess probably Neuquén is the most likely choice here if we actually are in Patagonia. Because I believe Rio Negro and South is like technically considered Patagonia. So I don't know, didn't really fit for any of the southern ones, and it is Gen 4, 2024, so yeah, you could see me contemplating the Buenos Aires switch, because I was like, is Patagonia like, I don't know, do I trust the sign? And I guess I did. So, end up working out. I'm happy with that guess as we move around 4. This one was a bit weird. You can see where I've clicked and where they've clicked. Maybe we had the same thought here, but I just thought it looked like Oklahoma, but not with super red soil, so I end up clicking like north of Dallas, and it ends up being like basically the 5K. So yeah, we'll take it. I mean, can't be too mad about that one. And we drop in around 5. Wasn't quite sure on the country here. But I do notice that on the sign backs here, we have no black cap. I mean, that's not to say that it's more of a way of identifying Czechia if there is a black cap, rather than if there's no black cap, it can still be Czechia. But I thought the hills were maybe a bit too big here. And it kind of had a Slovakian-like vibe to it, in a way. So maybe Brezhny is a place. So I ended up scanning for that, but it was probably just family name, or maybe just the name of the business, or whatever. So yeah, we're scanning for Brezhny. I thought I'd heard of it before, but maybe not. It's just like probably just 2 similar names. Metal Roof there is also like pushing me more Slovakia, I guess, because it is a bit closer to Romania, which does have a lot of metal roofs. Metal roofs, I feel like, are quite rare in Czechia, but could be corrected on that. But yeah, we just end up hedging there. Ends up being east of Prešov there, and there's a POI for rank Brezhny 234, so fair enough. Round 6. In this round, yeah. Wasn't quite sure. The soil is pretty white, but we do have like a very rickety looking fence. So maybe that pushes you away from going Mexico in some cases. Because the fence is a bit weird, so I end up clicking like Yucatan. I'm really not sure. Because like my 50-50 is this and Colombia, like northern Colombia. I checked to see if it's black car maybe for a shout. But yeah, I'm not too happy with the guess, but they end up sending Veracruz, so luckily we stay alive. We could have lost there. It was just south of Barranquilla. We're moving around 7. 2.5 now in what looks like Montenegro. Yeah, I mean, I've seen this road before, I think, or, you know, this area of natural beauty. I clicked there, but then I just realized it's just here with the Mountain Pass Road. I think Zigzag drove this, or Lenley did, but in Zigzag's video. So, yeah. Pretty famous, 198 points. And we'll hop in around 8 triple damage. In Kazakhstan, yeah. I do a lot of road scanning for this one. Because I really struggle to distinguish between this road here with like the railway to our west. I try to look if there's a railway. It doesn't look like it. And to my knowledge, at least, I feel like on most of the road, it's pretty close in some cases, but I don't know. I even look at this because, I mean, that lines up okay, but I don't think it lines up perfectly. And then I look at this road, like this is like the road that I think of the most. I mean, this lines up really well, or like more or less pretty well. But it looks like we're on a curve of some kind, or at least a slight curve. So I think, oh, could we just be here? But maybe it's curving a bit too. I don't know. I thought this looked okay. Like, I noticed we have a village to our northeast. So I'm like, oh, could that be that? And it's just improperly mapped? Because I know Kazakhstan is a little bit improperly mapped. So I end up looking up for the village on the northeast here on this road. But yeah, I just don't really see anything that works. So maybe in that case, I should just be like switching to the other road here. But I definitely need to learn how to distinguish these two roads more effectively, because for me at least, it's a little bit tough. Yeah, so we go back here, try to scan for like any town there. I mean, that doesn't really work. So yeah, I think we just end up, well, let's see. I do look at this as well, see if that lines up there. But yeah, I mean, even scanned that road, but then I realized it's not like super overcast, so yeah, we just send it in. Don't hate it, but don't love it. You can see me shaking the screen, but I think I scanned over this, probably, because it is quite findable. I don't know if the town is mapped even. It doesn't look like it's mapped, so I mean, they end up getting a very nice guess down, so yeah, just gotta know the road, I guess. Alright, this one, I noticed we have those trident pulls, but I always get confused between the short crossbar and the long crossbar. Because my first thought here is Newfie, because we have a bunch of like Christmas tree looking pines that I've talked about, but I thought the Gen 2, I don't know, I guess it's weird for both Nova Scotia and Newfie, to be fair. Well, I feel like more Gen 2 probably exists in Newfie, so maybe I should just be clicking Newfie here. Like I don't know. There's something about this location. I don't know why I did what I did. Like, you can see me considering Newfie. I'm like, oh, can I find a road that even, like, makes sense? Because I feel like I know what that road looks like. The 410, maybe? Yeah, couldn't really find anything that worked here. Because this looks like a yellow road, right? Like, it's pretty well maintained. Pretty big. There's a decent amount of traffic on it as well, so... yeah, I couldn't find that curve, and I see they end up sending, so I'm like, okay, let's just click Nova Scotia middle somewhere and hope for the best. It actually ends up being Newfie. think they said northern Manitoba, which, I mean, is valid. I don't know. I guess the polls are never never northern Manitoba, but I don't know. It's just like it's a weird round. Like, ends up being that yellow road there. I don't know. Anyway, cutting into another game here. And we hop into round 1 against the same alt here. And yeah, Norway here. Long outer dashes. Just end up clicking in the middle of the south part. If it was like bigger multis in Norway, I would try to cook this a bit harder, but I feel like because they like somewhat instascent that they probably just click middle as well. It just ends up being there. I don't really know if I'm even getting that, regardless. But it happens as we drop into round 2. In Misiones, so pretty straightforward one. Sign is obviously not Brazilian. We have some piranha pines. Very red-looking road. And yeah, I mean, they end up making a better region guess, but it's only like 150 points, which is really no big deal. And we'll jump into a little bit of round 3. In Brazil, I mean, it's an interesting Brazil. We have a ladder pole there. We also have a wood pole here, which I don't know, man. I don't know how you get this round, really. It just looks like coastal anything. Like, we have a bunch of, like, these little palms. I thought with the wood pole, okay, I'm just slamming Sao Paulo and hoping for the best, like, honestly. Like, because I'm really unsure. Who really knows on this location? If you guys know how to guess this, let me know. But yeah, it ends up being a NA from them. I mean, we get the state. And I sent them a little question mark because I'm like, huh? You were guessing the last 2 rounds. Why are you not guessing now? But yeah, it ends up being southwest of Sao Paulo there. And we hop into this, which looks like, I don't know. I had like a little moment here. Like, why am I not going main? I don't know, but they're back to guessing. So I think NA probably just happens, honestly. Round 5, 1.5. Looks like Ukraine. You can't see the red car, but usually an indication of no car in Ukraine or Russia usually means you're in Ukraine. Because pretty much in most cases you will see car with long antenna in Russia, so just thought Ukraine checked out. We just click label, it ends up being east of Poltava. But we go for similar guesses there. We pick up 246 points, which I will take. I'll move it around 6, double damage. In India, very dry looking landscape with corn. Just go for Rajasthan here. Could see Madhya Pradesh as well. Soil's not dark enough for me for it to be, but yeah, it just ends up being Chhattisgarh. I don't know how to get that really. I mean, maybe the soil was a bit red, but it's kind of tough. Round 7, 2.5. I noticed the antenna is facing us, so we shouldn't be in like Salalah area. So I just click area around Muscat, but it ends up being eastern on like some oasis, which is probably pretty famous. Maybe I'll know it now, at least if I get a location like that. But we move in around 8, triple damage now. In an interesting round, we have these white houses. Looks quite French to me, like Brittany-style houses. And you get a lot of these like salt ponds on the west coast. They are salt ponds, but like look like little fisheries or something. Don't let my region guess here. I can't lie to you. Like, I should be going Nantes. But yeah, it just ends up being west of Nantes. Pretty findable location, but at the end of the day, we both get Brittany there, so it's fine. They stay alive. Maybe they could have went Ireland there, and we could have won somehow, but they don't. 2024 here. Driving. I don't know, a bit of a weird one. I really wasn't sure what to make of this. I think the houses seemed like not German. And the road definitely didn't seem German because it was a bit crappy. So I was like, okay, what makes sense here? It doesn't feel like Hungary to me. Like, the houses don't feel Hungarian. The villages construction doesn't feel too Hungarian to me as well. So I considered mostly SK and Czechia. I could see some rolling hills in the background here. So I was like, maybe either Poland or Czechia? Yeah, so I end up hedging like all three. And yeah, it just ends up being Czechia. They go Romania. And we end up winning. So we take another dub. And 20 rating. So we're up to 2043. And we're going to queue up for one more duel here. In a second. Maybe I didn't. Okay, well, I mean, regardless. It gives me a little bit of time to talk about the race. Nope, never mind, we're queuing again. Okay, here we go. We get Kiribati for life. 1956. As we hop in around one. In New Zealand. North Island fences, and then I noticed there is an absolutely massive volcano there, which is Mount Taranaki. So, yeah, I mean, I noticed we had a lake. So, I don't know. Maybe I should just be looking for this lake. I didn't realize. I noticed there's a lake there. Like, I should just be, like, sending a bit more north, because it's pretty far off. I don't know. I just clicked there for whatever reason. Who knows why? It obviously ends up being more north. And that is the most findable 5K of all time. So I'm a bit mad at myself, but, I mean, it's only 6 points. I guess we could have gained 41, but it's fine. All right, let's BC here, like, overcast, very hazy-looking coverage, I guess. Double yellow lines. And we have Canada blur, so, yeah, I just go for the Prince George hedge. Because the road that he clicks on, and that road there, like, west of Tumbler Ridge, northwest of Tumbler Ridge, I don't know. I should maybe be getting the Tumbler Ridge Road, especially in Gen 4 or Gen 3, but it's fine. All right. This round, double yellows. Looks southern to me with these flat fields and somewhat red soil. So I just end up clicking like near Arkansas, Tennessee. That tri-point is very flat around there, and you'll get a lot of agricultural fields and red soil. So I was like, all right, yeah, Western Tennessee or Eastern Arkansas makes a lot of sense. So I end up hedging there. Ends up being Western Tennessee. So we get a nice region guess down, and we pick up 1,300 points. Guessing the USA is quite valuable. And we're moving around 4 in Bolivia. Yeah, we're quite high altitude here. Oh, I'm lagging. Okay, that was weird. Yeah, I don't know. I go Sucre first, then I switch to Potosi, and then it just ends up being the 6 going out of Sucre, so tough. 2 points. Round 5. 1.5x damage now. In an interesting round. No idea what to make of this. We have long antenna. I see some Baltic-looking pines here, like through the trees. So I'm like, all right. I mean, it's not Gen 4, Gen 3. So yeah, I'm just slamming Poland, long antenna car. I think Lith is quite reasonable as well. It ends up being like Copenhagen on this walking trail. So, I mean, kind of a weird location. Can't lie to you. But I don't really know how that's gettable. And then we move into this round. 2x damage. Yeah, I go back to inspect this pole a lot. Sun is quite ambiguous. I guess it's more south based off of the shadows here. Like the shadows of the grass on the hill. But I wasn't really sure. Yeah, I'm trying to determine, like, is it Brazil? Is it Mexico? Is it Colombia? I think I see, like, El Caliente or something, like, on the wall there. So I'm like, okay, it's probably Spanish speaking then. So, like, I rule out Brazil, and now I'm between Colombia and Mexico. The pole doesn't look hexagonal to me. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just clicking there? Although, in hindsight, I don't really think this guess makes sense. Like the north stuff, because like the wall feels weird here. I don't know. Like this gate feels a bit weird. That feels a bit weird. I just couldn't place this in either country, so I'm like, okay, maybe Colombia is the best guess, but it ends up being Colima in Mexico, and we just end up losing on that one. So, bit of an unfortunate one. I don't know. But you know, blunders are made from time to time. I don't know. I guess Mexico makes more sense in hindsight, Sun South. And maybe with these weird buildings, probably fits a bit more. The palms are also, I guess, a bit weird for Northern Colombia like that, but I don't know. Probably exists. But yeah, we end off at 2023, which is fine. And yeah, could have been better, I guess. But yeah, that's going to do it, I guess, for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for another GeoGuessr video. Peace.